Okay, in case there is a power cut, I can restart the machine, other machine, computer 5 minutes. Then after 5 minutes, we can resume the class, right? Great. So we start the first lesson, right? It is about the biological molecules. The first lesson is biological molecules. And in the easiest thing, we can understand what is the meaning of matter. So matter is anything which has a weight. Mass is weight, and take the space. It's not a big thing. The matter is anything which has a mass and take the space. So can you write this down on the matter? A substance or anything which has a mass, weight. As a result, it can occupy in the space. Now, why we need matter to understand? We are coming to the another important thing, element. Right. So we want to define elements. So how we define elements? So we have to use the word matter. Right? It's a matter cannot be broken down by a non-nuclear reaction. So it's a matter. It is a matter. So we take this word here. Now you know matter. That cannot be broken down by non-nuclear reaction. Now, nuclear reaction is a very powerful thing. Example, the hydrogen ions, the two hydrogens, atoms fused to make helium. This nuclear reaction takes place in the sun. So they generate large amount of energy. So if we can provide the enormous energy, then we can break down into atoms, neutrons, electrons and protons. But element usually stable if there is no nuclear reaction. Alright, now this element is quite important because unit 3 we're going to learn about the earth and how the living things form. If we look in a broad sense, everything is made out of elements. So then where did this element come to the earth? So we're going to learn that one. But just for interest, all the elements came from the space and they formed the earth, and this element joined together to make the life. So then elements are very important. So you can also write this down. It is a matter that cannot be broken down by a non-nuclear reaction. That cannot be broken down by non-nuclear reaction. Right? Then how many elements on earth? So how many elements on earth? We have 92 naturally occurring elements and 118 elements. The rest is synthesized. So they are not natural, they are synthesized. Okay, I'm going to delete this one. So how many elements? There are 118 elements. 118 elements on earth. Then the notes, how many elements made the living organisms? So then 92 are natural. Right, we are coming to the next question on the notes. how many elements made the living organism, right? So how many elements made the living organism? It is we cannot say exactly. I would like to write 20 to 30. How many elements made the living organisms? Now these living organisms, they can range from bacteria small, to small insect, then to human and the plants, like it's a range. But when you take the range, their elemental composition varies. We cannot say all the organism has exactly this and these are the elements. So their composition is varying, right? But generally 20 to 30 elements. Okay, then next question, what are the four major elements and its composition? So you can add this one. There is a circle like this, and we can take around 65%. So that is 65% is made out of oxygen. And then carbon is the second one. Carbon account 18%. And then hydrogen account for 10%. And then 3% nitrogen. Is nitrogen. So these four elements, corn, 18, 65 oxygen, 18 carbon, 10 hydrogen and 3 nitrogen. So if you add this number, it gives 96%. The four elements made us 96%. And also interestingly, this oxygen and hydrogen mostly coming from water molecule, because water is 70% of the living bodies, right? Composition. Water accounts 70% of the living organisms. Again, the water content vary, but roughly it's 70%. So then these are the four major elements and it accounts 96%. Okay, then there's a question. It's a quite easy question. Right, it's a not that difficult question, but still exam question. 1 mark, 1%. Can you send the answer for this question? Anuprada, yes. Anuprada, correct. Osandi, yes. Kitursha, yes. Disat, yes. Yoshini, yes. Vishmini, yes. Yeah, all correctly answered. It's pretty obvious. Answer is 2. I mean, if we get this kind of question in the exam, we would be very happy, but it is not the case always. There are easy questions and difficult questions. Yes, but still we can't underestimate. Let's say at the end of the lessons, you say, this is not important. I mean, that's a small thing. No, I don't care about the element. I don't learn element. but still the lesson is important. There should be questions. There may be questions in these sections, right? Okay. Next, we are coming to a little bit details now. So if these four elements contribute 96%, the 4% is the rest of elements. And how we can classify these elements is the next question. Okay, classification of elements in the living organism is like this. Okay, it. Right. Now the classification, we can remember this number 0.01% of dry matter. So elements which are more than dry weight, it is higher than this, then we call macro elements. Sometimes it's also called macronutrients, macro elements. But less than this, that means 0.01%, less than that, we call trace element. Trace elements. So you can write the classification of elements. There are two type of elements. One is abundant, and we can find more. It's called macro elements, and the other one is trace element. Okay, then next question is, what is the 6 common macro element in all organisms? Now I told you from the beginning 20 to 30 elements found in organism and the composition vary. So we are going to ask another question, what is the most common 6 elements in all organisms, right? So you can also write these text on the notes while we are talking, because we have enough time. Then carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, S and P, consp. So we can remember consp. So sulfur and phosphorus. This is the 6 common elements in all organisms. This is the 6 common elements in all organisms. Then the next question, what is the 8 common macronutrients in all organisms? Right, 8 common. We're coming to the 8 common, right? 8 common. So then we can have this cons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the next two is calcium and potassium. That's also in the all organism, right? So we add another 2, calcium and phosphorus. So then 8 common in all organisms. After that, we cannot come into a 9, 10 like this. It is different now. That means up to 8, we can say these 8 are common in all organisms. Above 8, we have to tell, okay, plant has this, animal has this organism has this, bacteria has this. Then you have to allocate the composition based on the organism. But you know, most important things to study in biology, because of the value, plant and animals. So then we're going to look what is the macro elements in animals, what is the macro elements in plant. So these 8 is common to all. Then we can add another one to plant. Then plant has 9 macro elements. So I write here. So macro elements, this one, plant, we have a 9 macro elements. So if you remember this still, corns, calcium and phosphorus, with this 8, we're going to add magnesium. That's the 9th one. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 9 magnesium, they are in the plant. And in animals, so then 12. Animal has 12 macro elements. That means with this 9, we're going to add another 3, that is ferrous and sodium and chloride, iron, sodium and chloride. So 8 plus this 9 plus this 3 is 12, right? 9 plus this 3, iron, sodium and chloride, there are 12. And this one is 9, right? Then trace element, actually we are learning in unit 4 because plant need trace element and also human need trace elements. So when we're learning about the details of the plant nutrition and animal nutrition, we are going to learn about the trace element. But just to remember, molybdenum, nickel, manganese, these are some of the example of trace element, right? Some of the example of trace elements. All right. I also made another mnemonics. Okay, I hope you copied this under the relevant text, the important points. And I'm going to delete this one, and I make this mnemonic. You don't find it anywhere. I made. Princess Fiona made salt corn soup and catered with the kidney beans. So phosphorus, ferrous, iron, magnesium, salt is sodium chloride, and this is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, calcium and potassium. So still if you want to remember these things in a different way, we can make this mnemonics, right? Princess Fiona made salt corn soup and catered with kidney beans. Yes, I think we all know first Shrek movie, Princess Fiona. So you can somehow remember, okay, elements I can remember because of this, right? Right, can you answer this question? I got 3 answers. 4 answers: Kitusha, Apurva, Disat, Anuprada. Hasna, Yoshini, yeah, you can, Oneli, Osadi, yeah, you can also send Vishmini, yes, send the answer. Yeah, okay, it takes time, at least one MCQ is 2.4 minutes. Yes, Vishmini also sent the answer. Yoshini, yes, Yoshini sent the answer. Vishmini, Anuprada. We are running out of time. I think I'm going to activate my Zoom account in August. Until that, we have 40 minutes time and then we join after 40 minutes. So please join after 40 minutes. Yes, Yoshini, Vishmini, Anuprada, Disat, Apurva, Kitursha, and Osandi. Yes, I think I have a mixed answer. Some answered 1, some answered 2, some answered 3. Right, let's see what is the right answer. Now you have to understand one important thing. That means some MCQs, you have the knowledge, but the language is also matters. That means if you are good in English, you can quickly get the meaning, you can quickly get the uh, impression of this sentence. Okay, this is the asking. Because uh, the trick is they are adding the words to trick you, distract you. Adding the words to distract you. For example, now some of them, when you select the first choice, there are 92 naturally. Okay, this is the correct answer because of exam tension and then stress of it. That's the right answer. Then you quickly, because again, you see, they put in a first place. It's a first choice. I mean, now imagine now you learn it just today you learn, but 2024, after you learning everything, you sit for the exam, and then you first test 92 naturally. All right, you quickly do it. But look at it, living matter. But this on Earth, I said 92 naturally occurring elements on Earth. The Earth, there are 92. Scientists found 92. Maybe in the future they will find one or two elements again. But at the moment, documented 92 naturally occurring on Earth. So then, two words trick you. Then it is not a living matter. Living matter, I told 20 to 30. Living matter 20 to 30. Right? And again, trick with this number. Look at it. I think some of them answered this one. Elements found in organism is less than 0.01. This should be 0.01%. You see, you have to understand, you're going to trick, you're going to distract. You have to escape from this kind of a thing. MCQs, that's a common trick they do. So we need to escape this kind of tricks. But I told many times 20 to 30. That means their composition is not constant. Bacteria, plants, I told plants has 9 macro elements, human has 12 macro elements, and the elemental composition change with the organism. Now, composition of elements in organism is not constant. This is the correct sentence. So some of them answered 2, they are correct, right? So this is the correct answer, 2. I mean, just for learning purpose, we go for the 4th and 5th. Iron is example for macromolecule found in all organisms. Now, I told you macromolecules, plant has 9, human has 12. In 12, iron, sodium and chloride. Plant, they do not have a macro element as iron. So plant has no iron, sodium or chloride. Then this is wrong because iron is not in all organisms. I said only all organisms. It is 8: corn, calcium and potassium. So all organism, it is this. And then the second, fifth one, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus and magnesium are 6 most abundant elements. 6 most abundant, I said corn, this, because magnesium is found in plants as a macro element. It's a good question. We can learn a lot. I mean, what we learn about element, everything tested in this question. So that could be a good question, right? So you learn a few things. Don't fall into the tricks. Don't fall into the numbers. Don't fall into the words. They are going to trick you. So you have to carefully select the answer. Okay, moving forward. Do you have any questions about the elements? If you have a question, you can verbally ask. You can ask by writing on the Zoom chat. Then we can, if not, we can move into the next topic, that is no, that's another question, right? There is another question. Okay, this question, right, how many answered correctly? Okay. We go to the next question. This question, probably you need extra knowledge, but this extra knowledge gathering on the way. But you can give it a try, right? I'm not expecting a perfect answer for this question, but this is for the learning purpose. I use this question. I'm using this question for the teaching purpose, but not for you testing your knowledge. But the previous question directly tested your knowledge. Give it a try to find answer for this question. Yes, I got an answer from Disat, Osandi, Vishmini. Let's see others. Right, I think others, if they haven't learned certain things, it might be not the right time to answer the questions, right? But being the relevant question for the trace element, I think I will explain this answer for this question, right? Okay, we are coming to the okay, can you please join again? after discontinue from this first session, we can join immediately, and then we take a small break in the next session, like a 5-minute session. This session we can join immediately, right? Okay, we're going to check these 5 choices. First we come this one, components of chlorophyll. We're going to learn chlorophyll in photosynthesis. You can also remember at this point, chlorophyll has carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and magnesium like things. So they have more about